Chapter 6: A Startling Encounter. The next day, Wang Jingzhe woke up late, with the suno ridihayan theski. It was nearly noon when Heffinally opened his eyes. Hurriedly washed dupend packa disbelongings, thuffa collected luggage. It weighs a meager collection, an old canvas bag containing a few kitchen knives, a towel, and a toothbrush, nothing more. His life had always been quite preferable. Once his lung thiba goverish shoulder and stepped outside the inn, hested in the street, eyes closed, basking in the soon while stretching lazily with his left hand. He extracted a cigarette pack from the big papadoni out and placed it between his lips. With Affleck, held the cigarette justice a black 750 rolled to stop in front of him in a shallow Oretiscase, Hasulan Zanius Visimer Jeff from Theloward window. It seemed that the previous day shock had faded into the background. They said from a hint of melancholy, her expression had returned to normal. We followed our instructions and rebered Grand Paskofin last night. Today, Dad has gone to arrange for the rituals. After repeating Wang Jingzhe's earlier instructions, Lin Zaniu added, "Wary area headed, I can javaride, and it's a good opportunity for me to clarify a few things along the way." To the capital, Wang Jingzhe replied, the cigarette still clenched between his teeth. Not far from Kaofidian, just over 1,200 kilometers, a little Marethan 3 Hurstad Lin Zaniu met perceptive, quick lies rowing in on the crux of Timeter Wadio Havine Fat Bagdo isn't seem suitable for public transport. It could cost some trouble if they check it at security. With a flick of his wrist, Wang Jingzhe discarded the cigarette button, climbed in top passenger seat. As Lin Zaniu stared the Karanto road, Wang Jingzhe hesitantly asked, "Is the rest still a place called Sun Laozen's Luzuan Thealibi Sun Jiadong?" "It's still up and my grandfather used to enjoy his Luju. You seem quite familiar with Kaofadi and that place has quite a reputation," she noted. "My family used it to visit a few times when my dad took me traveling." About 10 minutes later, Lin Zaniu arrived at an unassuming Luzashana sold in Annalinar Sun Jiadong. After parking, Thetwo entered the smolettery, quick housed on Lefortables, directly facing the cooking station where the owner prepared dishes starter. Wang Jingzhe adolda tagriasete blin pula dis long rubeklos rashido akazit. Linxianyu, impeccably dressed, paid namin dan sa takros from him. Boss still have serving off Luju. Wang Jingzhe heckled out, stretching his neck, make sure to a lot of large intestines, lungs, and diffuse lice soft kidneys. Thebus looked up, squinting suspiciously. Should I just throw in a wolpig, then? Wang Jingzhe's lips twitched in embarrassment, then, add extracally, please. Lin Zaniu turned back and smiled, 3 bowls of luzoform, with extra keely. Thebosiest twinkled with delight. "Oh, Miss Linishir, coming right up." Wang Jingzhe scratched his nose, curious, you bit, ordering twabbles be yourself? "One form theotherphoria with thick strain testinese and kidneys," she replied, her intelligence and emotional aqua de shining throw, which undeniably improved Wang Jingzhe's impression of her. A short while later, 3 bowls of luzu were reserved. Wang Jingzhe yager ligra bedisco sticks and dujan, while Lin Zaniu maintained more civilized approach, delicate lipicking gu puppisuffling don steering the conversation, is still don't know your surname. Wang Jingzhe. I was born in the day of Jingzhe festival, he explained. The night I were born on the winter solstice should be gone. Wang Jingzhe looked up. That will be my sister's Wandongji. Lin Zaniu fell silent, realizing her attempt at small to cut hotoal. The 3 bowls of luzu were devoured within minutes. Before Wang Jingzhe could reach for his wallet, Lin Zaniu on the initiative to pay the exitethishapand returnet to the car, and Lin Zaniu headed toward the capital. At first, Thedriv was quiet, with Wang Jingzhe seemingly reserved, only responding to Lin Zaniu's inquiries. Once it emerged onto the highway and the traffic thinned, however, Lin Zaniu's curiosity surged forth. "Do you think hosts really exist?" Wang Jingzhe replied, "Feeble if in spirit has been around for thousands of years, from ancient times to now. I can't give a what definitive answer, but I can tell you there's existence as reason. What you've seen and experienced said may not be real, and what you haven't seen may not be false. Regarding your grandfather's matter, I outn't believing hosts. Consider it awful alarm he won't come looking for a wagain me auto believe. Just be cautious, if I encounter anything unusual, be vigilant and don't dismiss it lightly." "Of course, I believe," Lin Zaniu sighed. "You managed to through have past 30 years without believing, didn't you?" he replied. "Was talking about their tires," Lin Zaniu retorted, turning her head in disbelief. "I'm in 23, just to top my teens. What do you think I am, a woman her 30s? "Ah, it must be but faceblind," Wang Jingzhe mirrored awkwardly, nodding. "Faceblindness means not recognizing faces, you just they've peri. To horse later, thiexate head the way. Where to know?" Wang Jingzhe felt a surge of excitement. Tianha prison. Lin Zaniu looked at him, perplexed. "A heavy friend was getting good in a few days. He went to see him and find it when he's being released," Wang Jingzhe clarified. "If I had mentioned that sooner, wouldn't they've had to exitheri and drive in for several dozen kilometers," Lin Zaniu remarked, frowning at the navigation. "You never asked where he was going," Wang Jingzhe shrugged matter-of-factly. With any role, Lin Zaniu adjusted the navigation and set off toward Daxingtiana. He arrived by late afternoon. A thepper songate, Wang Jingzhe apeen thikar duran turnet back, sincerely saying, thank you for saving me lot of trouble. Issued be thank kinj instead, without you would have been in deep trouble, replied Lindsay and you as a tukada strand off hair behind her but just 20-something she exadama charera, most like a lejuator family background illuminating her presence as a striking woman. As he adjusted her hair, Wang Jingzhe turned to speak to her and momentarily lost his focus, captivated by her elegant gesture. What are you oustering at? She asked. Without thinking, Wang Jingzhe blurted out, you can toss your hairily owent, but weary out again gatty heartstrings? Lindsay and you was momentarily taken aback by his comment. Coupled with Wang Jingzhe's long roby and chubby bag, it felt utterly incongruous. Chapter 7 I'm not selling kitchen knives. At Tianhe prison, the atmosphere in this area of Ndarara was thick with oppression. Housing inmates convicted of severe crimes, minimum sentences started at 5 years, stretching up to 15, along with levy sentences and death row and mates awaiting execution predominantly for murder, armed robbery, drug trafficking, or larger-scale fraud. Petty crimes barely earned a place here. Convict number 201258, step forward, the prison guard called from outside on off T-cells, addressing an inmate lying in bed. Reacting immediately to his number, Thean Matelli upped up, legs together, and shouted, report. Step out, someone wants to see you in the visitation room. With that clang, Thaguard opened the cell door, Fiddy den Kleindrist Shacklesenham, Thien escorted him to the visitation room. In the visitation room of Tianhe prison, Wang Jingzhe had been waiting for some time when half an alisa Ding Yu being brought over by the guards, Hainston Ligrand, revealing gastof whitey teeth. Ding Wu ho had maintained a rigid demeanor until now, surprisingly Krakadara Resmile, Vifani Falawan mates from the same block were watching, they would surely be shocked to witness the usual eye intimidating 201258 grinning. Ding Wu was Wang Jingzhe's skilled friend, one off the wood, and they had known each other since birth just 3 days apart. They grew up playing together. Wang Jingzhe and his family lived on a hill, while Ding was from a Lyri side on a village of the Softy Hill, and they spent their formative years there. Later, Ding was family moved away for work. Unfortunately, 2 years and a histant, hell indeed in prison for a manslaughter case, sentenced to a 10.5 years for excess of self-defense. Our lineage of my feberes is said to have an unerring intuition. It's sapatitha dekun for sayo your misfortune, Wang Jingzhe lamented, his voice coking with emotion, war by fondly ohancombe, way was steer safarieth. Ding woolly and unfeedable, speaking lazily in tathaphone, I go 8 years, surveydoni and a hopeless, ill be out tina liddy over half a month, let be gonis bebigones. It's good to be getting out, ill be waiting outside for you, call me and Suri out. Dingwa scrutinized Wang Jing's hand asked, where have you been for the past few years, Muriosti wearing fat gatup, you're in your 20s but look like an old man in his 30s, trying to act mature? I haven't a choice, my father said that for a year enough work, the sadfitis our trade marcon cannot be changed, Wang Jing's hazarded, grinning, the past few years, it been traveling everywhere. I tend to follow me hard if I hear some on sing in Gabuda place, igather. But I don't dare listento hun hum sing sane mareba because I dread her singing Tian Lu. You're just like your father, Ding replied, rubbing a shed when we're kids. Your dad solemnly told me that kissing would lead to pregnancy. One time I waited eating, and me dog tried to snatch me food, its mouth brushing against mine. A short while later, my dog had 5 puppies, and I ran to ask if they were mean. Your dad told me they were my offspring from thatment. I promised myself that I'd never let them go hungry, always making sure to save some me food for my canine companions. Hey, given how naiveo or rezakid, how did you end up stabbing people when you grew up? Ding you pointy de Theskaran Hishadan said, when I arrived at her, I realized it's tough to survive the Asanat sitter without money, connections, or skills. People would bully you. I couldn't hold me head up for the longest time, so I told myself, as long as he out in kiln, y'all always be sleeping with one open. Ding use words encapsulate his life story, revealing gay singular and extraordinary dedication to this principle. Wang Jingzhe had tried to advise him many times, but Ding Wolframly replied, don't constrain me with those notions about what happens after death. I only care about the present and what's in front of me after life. I too distant for matari about. After exchanging words for a while, I was near Lidomito and the meeting. Thaguard reminded them they had done la 2 minutes left. Ding wast, what are our plans of turthies? Once out, should we start some mething together, maybe you could sit to pastel selling kitchen knives. It seems say I wouldn't get a single order all month. Twagus depending in your business would starve. I'm not selling kitchen knives. Wang Jingzhe insisted adamantly, then for oedis bro I have 2 outstanding bills to collect. After I settle this in a beferi ishtu, I need to go to another place, come with them and swear don, we can consider it sure. What about your dad, Hughes to handle bill collections, didn't, Ding lost, puzzled. Wang Jingzhe has it, I haven't seen him in 3 years. 3 years ago, he told he was going to travel, and since then, have vanished without a trace. He haven't spoken to him, and I can't find him. Plus, he had to collect hot debt Mijal father Scanco. Alright, you wait for him, Ding was stood, waving to Wang Jingzhe, in half a month, your Wuga will be a freeman again. Goon. After meeting with Ding Wu, Wang Jingzhe exited Thepperson Gasha stepped out, has spotted Lin Xianya's 750 parked across the street. Upon seeing him, Sholo red Hu into one way vied him over. Waiting for him, Wang Jingzhe inquired. Chapter 8 I truly am a seller of kitchen knives. Lindsay and Yapasheta Penthikar durin delighted, saying, My father just call it to tell me that familias o have been well to do throughout history usually hire a master to oversee their household if a situation like Tioniatarum had arisen, having Simeon like a thought would have spared Durfamulithef right, this master might not possess extensive knowledge, but is often familiar with feng shui, exorcism, and othersic matters, and need not be present a year round it sufficient for him to be reachable during times of need. Offering solutions when necessary, I believe it is said to be called a patron and nor for a consultant. What does that mean form? Wang Jingzhe hissed, tilting a shading confusion. With her crescent-shaped eyes gleaming, Lindsay and replied, My father said that me tinge was a sign of destiny for us. Emilius Elarof kitchen Nigeria thinking to Makofit Wang Jingzhe throughout Ishibrip lighter na down walked away, leaving Lin Xianyu full of words yet again behind in bafflement. Hey, how can you just slave like that? Lindsay and you called after him, is still have retose, my dad said the price you negotiable and do can suggest a nidum se like. Goodbye, note him for handshakes, Wang Jingzhe obedishand without looking back. Where's your grace? Lindsay and Yamatered Silkila before pulling out their phone to talk to their father. After listening to the conversation between Titwo, her father replied nonchalantly, It's fine people like Heimerentes Ali hired if he were every own would be able to engage them and Thadlos Athirvalu, we can think of ways to hire him later, but make sure you maintain contact, start by getting talk know him. Do you have his number? I don't have his number, but who will definitely come me back in half a month, I can just wait for him, Lindsay and you confidently leered. Her father was right if you were to look back 100 years, they would find the 12th family is often kept masters or scholars and theromas who had knowledge of feng shui and exorcism, yet, a stim past and evolved such customs faded, especially in the northern regions, where they became almost extinct, with unliarum nantra mining in northeast China. However, in the southeastern coastal regions, especially in Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, and Fujian, people still hold such beliefs, and these practices are quite popular, yet, the masters no longer stay out them instead, they are recontacted as needed, the less transforming into Thetoff consultants. In place like Hong Kong and Macau, we all feel well acquainted with various masters or eminent persons, treating them with the utmost courtesy and respect, often jiven got substantial redendlapasi chair. The Sismer Lato maintained Tiban between hem, especially during significant events like the birth of Fatchild, mourning, or moving to Ainwon, as they would invite these masters for guidance. After the recent disturbances at home, Lin Yuan had rekindled the thought of hiring Simeon, but unfortunately, hindi do pin countering a wandering kitchen knife seller who never stays but. The profession of selling on credit is just that wandering, the practitioners don't confine a temzel vestunariate heroam the countryside, and nunanost hira regions or their destinations, you might very well try to find them, yet they could be lurking in some corner nearby, nonchalantly displaying a few kitchen knives, merely waiting for Simeona to approach them torquistak knife on credit. One Kethir prophecy on Windsor Trubberies, the knife seller will return to collect the payment. For the past years, Wang Jingzhe had been traversing the landscape, much like he described upon hearing Simeon Singabuching do head visit Sichuan upon hearing Sungabujungjo had ventured to central Hunan. His life was succeeding like her free, going wherever he pleased, lacking a permanent residence. This time, Wang Jingzhe came out of the capital Natan Latoratory Dingwa from prison Butulsada collected at, after settling Thai's account in the capital, Hain tended to visit Lonchi, he mused the Thizier, he planeta de little Marethan wrap up these atwadets. The capital's debt was any his grandfather had left behind, dating back over 4 decades. With this in mind, it's a say to see that one's family had been in the knife selling business for generations, continuing a tradition that like resisteth through countless linus before him. Daxing Tianha prison lay out this other Mustagifti capital nearly outside the city's boundaries. After meeting with Ding Wu, Wang Jingzhe needed to head toward the city center. Theria was relative Layermo to walk 12 kilometers before boarding a bus, transferring through several stops until reaching a subway station. Around 6 o'clock, the streets were bustling, with throngs of people jostling Gabu. Wang Jingzhe donned in a dark blue robe and carrying a one bag drew quite a bit of attention, yet accustomed to his appearance, he paid little mind, steadily following the road into the subway entrance. However, he encountered was at the security check. His bag contains the Virakachin knives, which were classified as Arduz attempts in the capital. Ash passing through the security checkpoint, a staff member promptly detained him. Sir, what's in your bag? The security officer inquired, pointing at the screen. Kitchen knives are in the handles quite obvious. Wang Jingzhe appealed this bag for inspection, stating, Imaselarov kitchen knives. He had recited his line countless to me over the years of using public transport, almastasafitwari mantra, it often worked elsewhere, Buther in the capital, it was a flitloose, as kitchen knives were prohibited from being transported this way. I'm sorry sir, beauty our equerry and j dangerous sightman cannot enter the subway. But tiv been able to in other places. Other place Serena the capital, the security officer replied with a logic that left Wang Jingzhe speechless. 2 security guards nearby him menacing lay as if prepared to pancita moments noticed. Wang Jingzhe told that even if they did detain him, he had nowhere to serve this case, for this was the capital. With their sign shrug, he zip a dispeg shut enter ned telev in a cornerny RB Ayun man in his 20ish had been watching him with at his edges. Once Wang Jingzhe at the subway entrance, the unman's naped back to reality and hurried after him. Unable to board the subway, Wang Jingzhe opted to take the bus instead. He walked to the nearest bus stop and just then Hefled Simeon jogging up behind him. Bam! Wang Jingzhe brought lighter net around and the young man, unoblatos to pin time, bumped into him. What do you want by following? Wang Jingzhe, looking at the disheveled, fatigued young man. I want Tedos the young man stammered nervously. Area wakna fessler? I didn't sell knives, I sell kitchank knives. No, I meant area wakna fessler, he proceeded earnestly. I heard from my grandfather when he was yo and that Theresa profession kala dun knife seller, Hanatan litivinus the future rebutal so hasnalogy feng shuyan de. Chapter 9. Some calls should not be answered. Wang Jingzhe was already dissatisfied from being gunnable to enter the subway, learning that the unman recognized Himasek knife seller on limate himmerty. Moreover, the rules of his profession dictated that and must let the neva speak for themselves. Wang Jingzhe turned on his telev, but he unman, no nearly hop in giant desperation, exclaimed, Master, I've encountered something terrible. The me and Ivarun in Toigost, I've been waiting at the subway entrance for almost 7 or 8 days trying to find Simeona who can help me, please, help me. Even without this prompting, Wang Jingzhe could see the unman's dark and issue was clearly drained off vital energy. Igways of that these individual had been plagued by some malevolent force for several days. If this continued, Ig wouldn't belong before he would suffer severe illness, possibly leading to his demise. When an normal person's vital energy diminishes, the immediate consequence is typically a serious illness that progressively weakens them until they can no longer endure, ultimately leading to. Seeing that Wang Jingzhe hadn't want tension off responding, Theo Ang men full wed him, lamenting, Master, saving the life is worth more than building a pagada. Imna monk Wang Jingzhe muttered disdainfully. Then, what if I pay? The Unman frantically dug into his pocket, pulling Utawa off cash and offering, is this enough? If not, I can withdraw more from the bank, please, just help. I thought say that sooner, we might have a hate proper discussion, Wang Jingzhe replied, eyeing the cash in the Unman shand. The Unman script rose in an instant, a look of confusion dawning in his dark cringy eyes. After taking the money from him, Wang Jingzhe, now tell him what's going in? Ding we won't be released for another half month, and since the that collection wasn't urgent, Wang Jingzhe found himself willing to entertain his business prospect, Henne dead money, especially for the upcoming trip to Longxi. Theo Ang Manswell out hard, calming his nervous before accounting, Igatant the subway Hirabuto Ikago. Igways around 9 o'clock in the evening when he entered, he had been drinking quite a bit at class reunion. Once entered the subway, I suddenly needed to the restroom, so I found indeed up Fallon ghastly pon the toilet. This young man, named Wang Qing, Wei's university student in the capital, after drinking heavily at a gathering with classmates, he passed to Tina's subway station bathroom. Upon waking, utterly disoriented, he stepped outside, only to discover that the subway station was deserted, with the overhead light still illuminating the area. He had been oblivious to that time, but the clock in Thule indicated the tide was well after 11. After waiting for a while, the familiar sound of an approaching train code through the tunnel. The train pulled up and without thinking twice, he boarded. To his surprise, the car was completely empty. Assuming it was implied latent passengers had dwindled, he thought little of it. After the train revealed Twamara stops, he began to feel uneasy, noticing that the entire train was devoid of people. Thessalon sepulpable and not erase the hairs in his arms. Suddenly, after the train's throw at another 12 stops, Wang King caught sight of a figure moving toward him from another car. He immediately relaxed, viewed as Thefir drew near. He realized with horror that it was a woman in a longers, her hair disheveled, obscuring her face. At this point in his retelling, Wang King's voice a quiver as she continued. When the woman approached, she held a stack of maps off Tisa Tandeska if I wanted to buy on. I told her no, Butcha just stood there, refusing to budge. Given that he was the only one in the subway, if finally relented on Deska Thamak, she said Fiviu and lacking change, I handed Harafati, and she gave me back for the 5. After buying the map, she left. And I go to Fatma stop. When I returned to school and went shopping the next morning, I discovered that the 4 to 5 I had received was gone. Transformed entirely into paper money. You boarded the subway after 11 then, Wang Jingzhe. Yes, I didn't realize at a time. By the time I returned to school, it was already past midnight. With a heavy sigh, Wang Jingzhe replied, haven't you heard about that peculiar happenings in the capital subway? Wang King looked as thought he would off-world that fallen upon him as lamented. When I realized the bill shed turned to paper money, in your lady doff right. I suspected he had encountered something sinister and went in line to research on to find out that on set subway close at 11. It's best not aboard. Yet I thought it was merely a note occurrence without further significance. That night, I dreamed of woman selling map. She scared me where the map was. Wang Jingzhe interjected, furrowing his brow. You must have spoken to her in the dream and told Harry Althrathima Pawe. Encounters with malevolent spirits can some at times be completely avoided. Take Wang King's experience for example. He refused to buy them up when the woman approached them. He would never have found himself in this predicament if he had not spoken to her in the dream. He wouldn't have attracted her attention. It's saken to a king alone eat night when, after midnight, someone calls your name might imperative and oughta respond if Samiana taps your shoulder, you must not turn around lest something unfortunate befall you. You can't reflect an experiences after losing loved ones sometimes, you may dream of them, and they might beckon you to follow, most often, you instinctively refuse, waking up afterwards, if you would follow them, you might have come to severe misfortune. One king nodded in agreement, saying right, they told Erithra themapaway and then challenged him, it arified metodieth furface was cover red and blood beneath her hair and she grasped my neck tightly. Just when it had wasn't the verge of suffocating, I suddenly woke up. Hey you been in yorder mitery, you were a kind of safe, yananotherplus, it might have been a different story altogether, skull sarganero like places filled with strong and energy. Indeed Wang Jingzhe began to pull back his collar, revealing 12 of bloody handprints in his neck, dark red and alarming toehold. Since at that night, whenever I dream, I see her demanding map in my desperation. I bought several maps and kept them bisa demabed, but no all she continues to haunt me relentlessly. Chapter 10 The Strange Occurrence Cessant Subway. In the capital, to location have long been notorious for their plethora of supernatural tellest forbidden city and subway stations. Once, a popular online novel titled Legend of Ancient 12 vivid lit epic to theory hoppings within Forbidden City, earning the reputation of a classic. Apart from Forbidden City, the subway station have also gained notoriety. The prevalent rumor asserts that after 11 o'clock, the last train is said to traverse the depths of the city, aimed exclusively at transporter wandering souls from Thunderworld. During this time, ordinary plary advised against entering the subway stations, lest they attract the attention of wandering spirits. This phenomenon has come to be known as the last train mystery of the capital subway. It is said that during the construction of the subway, various lines faced significant setbacks from accidents involving workers to unforeseen calamities. Workers at the site speculated that they had encountered buried bones or disturbed ancient graves. Others claimed that construction had inadvertently disrupted the city's dragon veins beneath the surface. Regardless of the explanations, the outcome remains the same. After 11, the subway becomes a hot spot for various ghostly encounters. Eventually, officials consulted Taoist Prius Sandmasters, Creed that, after midnight, empty subway cars should run for the purpose of transporting theseless souls, all while publicly claiming it was necessary for routine linear adjustments. Thus, after 11 o'clock on the stations closed, no more passengers were allowed entry. On the night when Wang King inadvertently found himself inside a subway station and ended up dozing in the restroom, Hune wittingly boarded the last train. After recounting his tale to Wang Jingzhe, tears streaming down his face, he tremblingly stated, "I've searched online for all sorts of remedies, but nothing works. I don't know anyone versed in these matters, so I've been here every day, hoping to run into someo knowledgeable. Hold have thought I will find a master likia. This must be destiny." The appearance of Wang Jingzhe full likia lifeline to Wanqing. Hailing from Liang, Wang King recollected to list from his village during Japanese invasion, where a debt collector had come into them. The village ifadisca along it would be before the invaders were driven away. The collector lent them a kitchen knife, promising to return to collect payment 5 years after the invaders had left. Wang King's grandfather was at village Ekif, and when the invaders retreated 4 to 5 years later, the collector returned for his payment. Having heard this story multiple times growing up, Wang King was well aware that so individual sex also understood the complexities of Feng Shui and had insight into the spiritual realm. Wang Jingzhe glanced at the time it was just after 7 o'clock. I'll go down with the out night and see what's going on. It shouldn't be too complicated. You're likely just being haunted by a wrong in spirit. Wang King said in relief, eagerly grasping Wang Jingzhe's arm. Thank you so much. Wang Jingzhe looked at him with a sidelong glance. After a moment of the scrutiny, Wang King began to feel loony. There was samultichadov meaning sin that gaze it was some weight aggressive, inquisitive, and tinged with a hint of desire. Wang King quickly shifted uncomfortably and whispered, "I've already paid you, sir. You don't want anything else, do you? That's just unacceptable." "I said I'm for dinner already," Wang Jingzhe replied coolly. In a nearby restaurant next to a subway station, Wang Jingzhe and Wang King ordered several dishes. To impress Wang Jingzhe, Wang King chose the hard to meat dishes and the soup. Wang Jingzhe noted approving Libuchan when tension off touching isco sticks. Timidly, Wang King asked, "Sir, I fit to us suity or taste. I can order a few more. What else would you like?" Wang Jingzhe stroked a disc in thoughtfully. Something seems to be missing. Missing? What do you mean? Food without wine is a waste, he said with a hint of condescension. Bring 12 bottles of beer. Why not a dozen? It saves just the trouble of ordering more later. Wang King was momentarily perplexed, bewildered with the abrupt request. "Sir, aren't you worried about drinking too much infin? It's fine, just a little to warm up and bolster our courage." Wang Jingzhe avadish and dismissively, "You might not understand, bother saying wine is strengthens a coward art. It also means that when you drink, your courageouses, making olas VR fuel of ghosts. In essence, spirits do prefer to prianthuic when I stand firm against them, they might just back off, you understand?" That kind of McKesson's, Wang King pondered for a moment, then curiously remarked, "But indeed do pin this predicament precisely because I drank too much that day." The Nayus implident drink enough. Wang Jingzhe hested earnestly. To be honest, Wang King was starting to second guess his choice of companion given that they were about to confront a ghost. Why was his supposed master indulge in gin drinks? Wang Jingzhe's earlier comments were mostly nonsensical. Hammerli felt through still implete me before 11 and could sidrink to past tea time. Staring at a Kothera cross tea table without anything to see would be rather awkward. After a few bottles, Wang Jingzhe's cheeks flushed, and the image of him holding gas cigarette while arising his glass made Wang King sure trace. Ultimately, he couldn't like comfort himself with the thought that master saw way superiority in a plane beyond comprehension. At 10, after belching from the drinks, Wang Jingzhe beckoned Wang King to rise. He left this badge at the restaurant, telling the owner would retrieve by the next date. On Sethi stepped outside, they headed straight for the subway station. After passing through security, they boarded the subway where the cars are much emptier than before. I'll take a quick nap while right at the strain back and forth, right? Make sure to Akimia Patelevin, Wang Jingzhe instructed, leaning back against the railing and dozing off before Wang King called respond. The subway clattered to Liffey with clank sounds, seemingly oblivious to Wang Jingzhe's interest in sleeping. Meanwhile, Wang King sat beside him, his ear tracing. Perhaps it was psychological, but them a the step adonta the train, hefel to cold sweat break out. As time passed incrementally, the number of passengers dwindled. The strain would continue to thin off Helini and then returned he last train of tonight. As 11 approached, Wang King Jingzhe's like Tani on the timer displayed on his phone. The last train was no near length to platform at and dance began patrolling the cars, checking for an remaining passengers. Suddenly, Wang Jingzhe woke, seized Wang Qing, and dirged him to hide underneath the seats. As the train door ding shut, it started moving again, and that with Tema crawled out from their hiding spot. Chapter 11. It is her, it's definitely her. With a sudden flick of darkness, all the lights in the last train car extinguished, leaving the spacerily void. The air was thick with an otherworldly silence. As visibility dropped to mere feet, I felt as though they had plunged into another realm entirely. Wang King's heart raced, his breathing quickened, prompting irritation in Wang Jingzhe. Calm down, harass another person with you, focus on me presents. How can you still be afraid? Wang King wished he could articulate the type was precisely because of Wang Jingzhe's previous unreliability. They felt even more frightened now. Ding dong, Thetroman Kama told, and as the doors opened, Wang King stretched his neck to glance out the platform outside. Notice all was in sight. Moments later, the doors slowly closed again, and the train lurched back into motion. The train stopped at several more platforms, and sweat began to bead in Wang King's forehead. He may have been drunk that day, but to remember they'd reapproaching the stop where a thought woman appeared. Wang Jingzhe grunted, a faint acknowledgement. Such spirits tend to appear in fixed patterns, typically in the same places, rarely shifting positions. Unperturbed be Wang King's reminder. Wang Jingzhe have frowned slightly, sensing a sudden drop in temperature. Right felt less like a coldness and more like a cooling draft, akin to the bondi up chill of his southern winter. Ding dong, the train halted on Smaritha platform, and as Wang King instinctively turned Ethish Toluk, Hegist, oh no, a woman in her dress stood on the platform, her head bowed and the long yam of her skirt brushing against their ankles, holding gas stack of papers to trees and blood flyers. She stepped on the train. Crack, Wang Jingzhe grabbed Wang Qing, whose leg shad turned into jelly, and pulled him close, half issued off his fin from his pocket, illuminating the woman's feature hun twaked in her skirts and ply fluid as if she floated in the car. Shido isn't the Vishido, Wang King gasped, terror coursing through him. Despite his fear, he observed the screen of his fin and half floor beneath woman showed no signs of her presence. Stacy ate dandactus if nothing is happening, just converse with her normally, Wang Jingzhe urged. Wang King thought incredulously, how can I pretend this isn't happening? I can't have inform words right now. Fu Manglai dead to the front of tea carriage, her long hair concealing her face, Ina stiff, mechanical tin devoid of emotion. She spoke, sir, will the olakita buyamup. Gulp, Wang King swallowed hard, turning a shitaglin se Wang Jingzhe, remained expressionless, fixate on the woman as if she were invisible to him. Sir, will the olakita buyamup, she repeated, her voice void of any warmth. How much, has stammered. 5 yuan. Perplexed, Wang King's forehead glistened with sweat. The dialogicho exact lays of edoic priornida word had changed, trembling, half-isha due to 100 iuanot from his wallet and extended toward her. Themament she grasped Themony, however, she suddenly halted. Wang King stared blankly at the rune till she abruptly lifted her head, demanding, didn't I ask you for 4 to 5 last time? Panic surged within Wang Qing, and in his dismay, he moaned, it's her, it's definitely her. Thud, hecalepsidenter, the side of her lift head face causing his blood torrent cold, her visageous a blood erect ways as if Simeoned crushed her skull. Her face bore unrecognizable features, a pyrrhic grotesquely distorted and shittered, rendering it unrecognizable echelon. Where is the map I sold ya? Did you throw it away? Why did you throw it away? Her voice became a hunting shriek as along a dan clawed out Wang King's neck, Harris wide with fury. Cough. Wang King struggled vehemently, swat and gather with all his might, boot shed and budge. Within moments, the color drained from his face, and Hega sped for his tongue with flailing gash lost the strength to fight back. Help me! Hakroaka desperately, his gaz darting to Wang Jingzhe, how is inexplicable. What are you panicking for? Wang Jingzhe skid nonchalantly. One king full tanner jetakers. Emma not being throttled, how can in it panic, I've made a terrible mistake. Under normal circumstances, Wang Jingzhe would have been unable to banish this ghost, as doing so olden light trio the symptoms without addressing the cause. Saving Wang King today would merely invite spiritahan them again until it ultimately lead to Wang King's demise. Yet, Wang Jingzhe nakun to obliterate the spirit without ceasing to exist, eliminating here entirely would not benefit them either. Simply put, all beings in this world have their own rationale for existence, and prematurely taking galif and curse karma consequences. It is precisely why both Buddhism and Taoism discourage killing. With each litha taken only a kroeskarma, necessitating greater athanim and latter, wealthy individuals often engage in charity for these exact reasons. They understand that them are good theto, them are marithi accumulate to counterbalance their past transgressions. Humph, just as Wang King's faceturned beatered, nearing suffocation, Wang Jingzhe's norted is missively. The spirit's grip and Wang King slackened as he turned her head toward Wang Jingzhe, baring her teeth and letting blood trickle from her mouth as he let out hackling roar. He didn't mean to discard your right tempt king him one change anything, Wang Jing's head declared, rolling his wrists, let them go or I may have to take action. Upon hearing Wang Jingzhe's words, the ghost reluctantly released her grip on Wang Jing, but then Shalunga towered Wang Jingzhe instead, seizing his neck. Wang Jingzhe remained motionless, allowing her to grip him, but in an instant, uttered it in a single word. Go! The moment Wang Jing spoke, Thegist's grip slackened, and she suddenly flew backward, slamming into Theglasoft head Jason train car. Ding dong, ding dong. The subway submitted scores, and Wang Jing seized Wang Jing, Halle sprawled on the ground. Let's go, out.